Hey guys, doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Q&A number 5, answering the questions I've received over the last week. I got a ton of great questions, so I'm going to get right into it. So first off, the Money Team Angel is asking me about Skill Drain versus Dracosac, and like some of the ways like how he can use his effects still and stuff like that. Just so you know, I really want to run down, costs and like things like Skill Drain really quickly. Just because some people might not understand this if they're newcomers, someone even responded to you about it because they didn't really understand how you can do it. Basically, when you have a card like Skill Drain or Fiendish Chain, those cards negate effects, but they don't stop effects from activating. What that means is that you can activate an effect, but it won't go off because of how Skill Drain and Fiendish Chain works. Now, activating the effect requires you to pay a cost. So you can pay that cost. The easiest example of this is XYZ monsters, because most XYZ monsters can detach as a cost. So if you want to dump something in the graveyard, you can detach from your XYZs even if you have something like Skill Drain on the field, which is good to know. Same thing when you're using like a solemn warning or solemn judgment and you get dark bribed, you still have to pay that life point cost because that's how the card works. In order to use the card, you're paying that cost. So regardless of it being negated, that cost still goes off. So now to get into the, actual question. So Dracosac is a really interesting card, and this is one of the reasons why. So Dracosac obviously can tribute a Mecha Phantom Beast in order to destroy a card in the field. So from what we know about costs and effects, you can tribute a cost, but the effect won't go through. That's what we know. So you could like tribute a token or something like that and nothing will happen. But the big thing to note is that he is a Mecha Phantom Beast card, so you can tribute himself. Now if you tribute himself, his effect doesn't activate while he's on the field, so he's not getting negated and the effect goes through. So Dracosac can actually use his effect while negated as long as he uses it on himself, which is one of the reasons why he's a really good card. Now, if that was confusing for anyone, I'm sorry. I tried to explain it the best I could. But the big deal there is just that you can pay those costs regardless. And if you're going to pay a cost that gets rid of the card that's being negated, then it can't be negated. So it just works out fine. So the Hunter128 is asking about Gemini summons, kind of how they work. The basic way to understand Gemini summons is Gemini summons are normal monsters until you normal summon them again. What that means is you have to normal summon them or special summon them or whatever, and then eventually, like next turn or something, you have to normal summon them. If you're going to do this like online or in real life, you just say I'm going to normal summon this card. You don't say yeah like I'm going to Gemini summon. The way you do Gemini summons is a normal summon. There's no difference than a normal summon. It is a normal summon just on top of whatever you're currently doing. You don't need 2 copies of the card or anything. You just say I'm gonna normal summon blah blah blah. He's now an effect monster with his effect from being a Gemini. A big question I get seen a lot from people is, do you have to tribute again if he's like a tribute monster, like Gigaplant or whatever? And the answer is no. It's a normal summon without a tribute. So all you got to do is bring the card out and normal summon it again when you have a normal summon that you can use. So that's pretty much it. Now David Wilford asked me a question that I see a lot on Dueling Network. He asked me about like what is OCG, what is TCG, what does that mean, all that stuff. So basically, I don't know the specific areas. OCG, I believe, stands for Original Card Game. OCG is like the East Asian card game. They play it in like I think Japan and Korea and stuff like that. I'm not sure of the exact territories that it's played. TCG is the North American version, probably European version, I'm guessing. I'm not sure exactly. You guys can correct me in the comments. But the big thing to note is that OCG and TCG have different ban lists. OCG has the newer cards because they come out there first. So there's a lot of OCG exclusive cards that usually come to TCG. There's a lot of exceptions to this. There are TCG cards that are exclusive. There are OCG cards that are exclusive that never come to the TCG. The big thing is if you play like in America or something and you want to play cards you can actually use that are English cards and stuff like that, you'll be playing the TCG. I only do TCG decks, so that's good to know for me. If you see my decks, I really only do TCGs. I keep an eye on the OCG cards because those are where the new cards are coming from. So I definitely want to know what's going on with OCG. But otherwise, it's not necessarily the game I play. In my opinion, it's pretty much two different games because there's so much of different stuff going on in each game. That's why they're separate ban lists. But overall, they're just two different regions of the game that have different access to different cards and different ban lists and stuff like that. You can play a TCG OCG game and go by whatever ban list you want and use whatever cards you want. It's completely up to you. On Dueling Network, you can play TCG OCG or just TCG, I believe. So it's really up to you. I just stick to the TCG, and I research the OCG cards and get excited about them. I hope that answered your question. If you do have any more questions about that, you can let me know. Now, Simply Yu-Gi-Oh! Asked me about pendulum summoning and if it's going to completely change the meta. So, pendulum summoning is going to be very, very interesting. I've definitely played around with it a little bit. It's not on Dueling Network yet, but it is on YGOPro, so I've been messing with it. Whether it's going to completely change the meta is sort of up in the air. I think any type of new summoning is going to make a big impact on the meta. It's going to really, it's going to change how things are going. I don't think it's going to become like the new Synchro XYZ, whatever. I think it's going to help supplement what people are already doing. I think it's going to work within the game, helping out all different deck types, which I think is great because it's not something where so it's going to come out and then everyone's going to drop XYZs and synchros. It's one of those things that's going to be added within the game that can help support all different deck types. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I really like the idea they're going for. And I like any type of new mechanics in the game. I know a lot of people hate new stuff, but I think it's really good for the game, and it shows how you can keep a game that's been going on for years and years still alive and still add new things to make it more interesting. And this is something that's a huge change to the actual gameplay itself. Again, whether it's saying that it's going to completely change the meta, it might just make meta decks better. It might just make decks that can swarm better because it has the ability to summon those high-level monsters very easily. So I'm not sure yet. We'll see as we know more information, as we play around with it more. We can see what decks it'll support and what meta it's kind of aiming at, or whether maybe it might balance the meta and bring it up. We don't really know completely yet. But I'll keep looking into that. You guys can let me know your opinions as well. He also asked me about me doing match videos. The truth is, I've been really busy lately. I've been trying to do, a deck a day and still do new content. I'm about to hit like 1,000 subscribers, so I think when I do that, I'm going to make a new video and maybe talk about new types of content that I might be doing. So look out for that because I'll definitely be taking a lot of feedback. If I do any duels, it'll probably be like 1 or 2 a week, on the weekend or something. It's a bit annoying for me to record because I don't do it on Dueling Network, and I have to find randoms to duel, and I play random decks, and sometimes it's not always the greatest match, and people criticize me like crazy because I'm always playing a random deck and I don't know all the plays I should be doing. But I might do it, and we'll see. As I get more popular, I'm encouraged to do different types of content. And we'll just see, as the channel grows, I'll be trying a lot of new things, just like this Q&A series. So that's it for this week. A lot of great questions. Hope I was able to help a lot of people. If you have a question for me, please post in the comments below, or you can tweet me on Twitter at Remster101. Either way works for me. There's going to be a new deck request video going up tomorrow, so watch out for that. I've gotten a lot of great requests this month. I hope I've been able to, make some cool decks out of that. So just keep your eye on that, and I'll post on that tomorrow. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.